There are many legislative achievements that I'm most proud of, but I think the one that probably stands out is the Global HIV/AIDS Initiative. I actually wrote the legislation that established the framework for the Global Fund for HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. I actually wrote the legislation that established the bill for the President's Emergency in Response to HIV and AIDS. That's better known as PEPFAR, that President Bush really did champion, but it was our legislation, it was my legislation that pushed that forward. I wrote the bill, and it was signed into law by President Bush, the Orphan and Vulnerable Children's Bill. That is really helping orphans and vulnerable children around the world receive the type of U.S. assistance that is possible in this day and time. And also, very recently, I wrote the legislation, and we finally got this incorporated into the last PEPFAR bill that lifted the travel ban. You know, since the mid-90s, people living with HIV and AIDS couldn't really come to the United States. As a result, we've never had an international AIDS conference here. And I decided I was going to try to do that. No one believed we could do it, and I said, yes, we can. So we were able to do that. President Bush actually signed it into law. President Obama signed the regulations that lifted this travel ban. And I was able to convince, along with others, but primarily I led the charge to convince the International AIDS Society to hold the next AIDS conference, International AIDS Conference, here in the United States. And that will be held in 2012 in Washington, D.C. And so I'm very proud of that effort, because we have to make sure that the HIV/AIDS pandemic in the African American and Latino and communities of color are given the same recognition, and the rest of the world understands we do have disproportionate rates here, and we really are in unity and in solidarity with the rest of the world in trying to stamp this disease from the face of the earth.